Hello, hello, my friends and followers. Today, we are going to talk about failure because failure is so much fun, right? Before we do that, let me introduce myself. My name is Jennifer Hooper. I am a life coach for women entrepreneurs and business owners who want to grow their businesses faster and easier than doing it alone. So, getting back to our topic of the day, failure. Failure is super uncomfortable, right? It doesn't feel good. It makes us feel terrible. And what happens is that the fear of failure will often rob us of our dreams because we're either too afraid to show up and we avoid showing up at all for ourselves, or we try something and we don't succeed and we kind of throw our hands up in the air and say, well, that didn't work. I'm never going to do that again. And so we become so afraid of it that it becomes an obstacle, right? But I want to offer that we can actually reframe failure into something not to avoid, not to be afraid of, but to actually embrace as necessary. What if you started to think of failure from kind of a neutral place and just say, it's absolutely necessary to get to where I want to go? I'm going to give you some examples. One kind of light and easy breezy, and one related to business. So I am taking swing dance lessons with my beloved, and we've maybe had 8 lessons over 3 months, and we fail a lot. We are not good at it. We mess up, we forget, we need a lot of repetition, but it's necessary to make those mistakes in order to build the muscle memory of learning the step. And so even though we never get anything the first time, we just keep showing up and doing it again and again. And as of last night, we mastered the step called the sugar push, right? Which a month ago seemed so hard and so impossible. And then we learned a new step last night, and we suck at that, but we're going to keep showing up, and we're going to keep failing our way to success. Okay, so that's a really kind of fun example. Now I want to share a story with you about this student that I used to work with when I worked at the University of Maine Innovation Center. And this kid wanted to build a business, and he had a very good idea. It was a manufacturing idea. And he came to us for some business advice, and we suggested that he enroll in a class that was several months long. And a component of this class was to learn how to pitch your business in front of investors. Now, in the beginning, I can still remember the very first time he gave his pitch. He was so nervous. His voice trembled. His skin got red, like you could see it coming up his neck and into his face, and he got so flushed. And by some people's standards, that would have been considered a failure, right? But he was so motivated to build his business. He kept showing up again and again and again, giving his pitch, taking feedback, applying the feedback, getting better. And by the end of those few months, he was in front of a stage of hundreds of people pitching his business for a chance at $25,000. And he was killing it. He failed his way to that successful pitch. And he's gone on to get money from investors and really build his business. But he couldn't have gotten there. He wouldn't be succeeding if he hadn't been willing to fail. He kept showing up. Okay, so failure is a neutral thing. It's neutral until we make it mean something with our minds. So thinking about dance lessons, we don't think much about failing because it's all in good fun and it's not life or death. And we don't mean anything about who we are, our ability to move in the world, or anything like that. In terms of building a business, we can we want to make sure that the fear of failure isn't robbing us of our dreams and preventing us from showing up. So let me give you a couple more examples. Let's say you wanted to learn, or you had to have some hard conversations with an employee. Maybe this is something that has to happen periodically or quarterly, something like that. You're probably going to be really shitty at it in the beginning. You're going to fail at it, right? But you have to keep having those conversations to get really comfortable and to get really good at them. Let's say you wanted to create a webinar and you've never created a webinar before. The first one probably isn't going to go great. Maybe only 3 people show up. Maybe the technology fails. You never know, but you're never going to be able to figure your way out or learn the process unless you're willing to show up and willing to not be good at it. Or you create a Facebook ad and nobody clicks through, right? In these moments of failure, you have choices. You can give up or you can learn from it and keep going. So what I want to offer you are some pieces of advice, to some things that you can do that when failure happens. Okay, well, first, even before it happens, before you take an action, you can decide in advance what you're going to do if things don't go the way you expected, right? So let's say you're going to give a pitch in front of an investor. You can decide in advance, if I don't get money from this investor, I can decide to show up again for a different investor, right? I'm going to decide in advance that that's what I'm going to do. So you have a plan B if plan A doesn't work out. And then after you do something, after you've taken action, I want you to review what you did by asking 3 questions. What went well? What didn't go well? And what would you do differently next time? So in the example of the swing dance lessons, what worked, as you know, we had our last lesson on Monday. What worked is that we showed up, right? We had fun and we laughed a lot. We conquered the sugar push swing dance step and we learned a new one called the drop kick. All of those things were awesome. And when you're asking yourself these questions, keep asking, like, what else? What else? What else worked well? So when I think about what didn't work about our lesson, we're kind of slow. We're slow at learning new steps, but that's okay. And we kind of compare ourselves to other people sometimes. Like, oh, they are doing really good. But the problem is that we're comparing our beginning results to other people's end results, other people who have been dancing for years, right? That didn't go so well to make that comparison. And then number 3, what will we do differently next time? Well, we'll practice between our classes. If we practiced, we would actually get better faster. And we'll just keep showing up. So maybe that's not something different, but it's something that's working that we'll continue to do. Okay, so to recap, failure is absolutely necessary to get good at something. It doesn't mean that you are a terrible person or that you are never going to succeed or that you can't learn. And 2, the fastest and easiest way to get better at something is to evaluate what you've done every step along the way and then tweak it, pivot as you go. And then actually, I want to offer a 3rd tip, is that remember that when you fail and you're feeling an emotion like embarrassment or weakness or humiliation, just remind yourself all it is, all that feeling is an emotion, and emotions pass. Emotions always change, and you can handle an emotion. We can all handle emotions. We've all handled them so far. We're still alive. We're still going. So know that it's going to pass. Okay, that's it for this week. If you like this video, please like it. Please give it a heart. Please share it. Show me some love. Give me a comment. If you have any questions, feel free to post them underneath. I will always go back and review them, answer anything you want. And oh, I'm giving away a free training called Building Your Business Faster and Easier. I will put a link under this video. Go grab it. It's 5 emails, 1 email a day for 5 days, and it will really motivate you and get you going on building your business faster and easier. Okay, that's it. We'll see y'all later.